Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to laughingplace.com's new Disney vacation planning show. We don't have an official title yet, but we're going to come up with one, I'm pretty sure. My name is Rebekah Mosley. I'm the co-founder here at Laughing Place, and with me is Heather of MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. She's a travel planner over there. Hey, Heather, how's it going?
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am really excited to just have some fun talking about Disney vacations and offering tips and some of the things we've learned over the years. How long have you been going to Disney parks, Heather?
Oh my gosh, I have been going well, I grew up on the East Coast, so I've been going to Walt Disney World since 1985-ish. I feel like I
Okay,
have over 300 visits because I was lucky and I got to live in Celebration. So, I was bored on a Saturday, I would just pop right in to
there
Disney.
you go. Okay, I grew up in Southern California, and Disneyland was the park I grew up in. We would go it was more of a seasonal thing until the 80s when we got annual passes, and then it became even more and more regular. Until that's actually, I met my husband on Main Street. We were guests, and that's how we met. And
That is the cutest story. I love
and
I really
I
love that.
I continued to go to Disneyland so much. He's a computer programmer, and he's like, hey, maybe we can turn this into like a little hobby business, and that's how Laughing Place was born. And fast forward a few years, we moved to Florida. We moved to Celebration, and we become APs there, and I'm a regular there. So now I've got a good amount of knowledge in both. So I'm excited to kind of share what I've learned and what you've learned as we've taken all these trips. We're live, so if you have any questions about vacation travel with Disney, be sure and let us know. Ask questions in the comments. We'll either answer it or do our best to find out the answer for the future. So be sure and jump right in. We are actually today's topic. We're going to focus on springtime at Disney parks. I'll be honest, springtime is one of my favorite seasons
Mhm.
to visit Disney. I don't know
Especially in
about you,
Florida
Heather.
when it's so pretty with all the flowers out there. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where I don't know if it's the transition from the winter to the spring, but the flowers just seem so much more beautiful springtime at Disneyland or in Florida. But in Florida in particular, this is ideal like weather-wise. Not so hot, but not
Once
the
spring
cold
skipped
winter.
us here in Southern California, they completely skipped us. It is 90 degrees here today in Southern California. So we don't have
No spring this year, huh?
no, but it's
That's
okay.
too
There's no
bad. I'm sorry
humidity,
to
so
hear.
I'll take it.
Ah, there you go. Hey, Caleb. One of the things that I noticed on my recent trip, we went to say goodbye to Toontown. So we were there just a couple of weeks ago, and it was really chilly in the morning, and then it would heat up in the middle of the day,
Mhm.
and then once again it'd get really chilly at night. So it was a reminder to me to bring layers. So I had like a little backpack with our sweatshirts for those early morning hours, and then those evening hours. Florida,
Yeah,
it's like one
that's
size
a
fits
good
all,
tip,
right?
right?
Whatever. I'm
If you're
sorry. Go
not
ahead.
familiar with California, we don't have humidity, so it's freezing in the morning. And once that sun goes down, forget it. You'll find me in a winter jacket still in the morning, and then 2 hours later, it's 90 degrees. So
Yeah, no, it's one of those things you forget because when I moved to Florida, it was like when I walk out in the morning, it was like, okay, that was pretty much, it was like it would stay warm and then it'd get really humidity hot and then it'd get warm
yeah,
again. But I got rid of all my denim. I had so much denim when I lived in Southern California. It was just, it went away. I didn't bring it back out till I moved back to California. So it's just
yeah.
one of those things.
Florida is just constantly like either warm or like a little damp and then hot.
So keep that in mind if springtime travel. If you're heading to Southern California, you may think that, hey, I'm leaving my winter weather behind, but it can be chilly in the morning and in the evening. So don't totally come in only shorts and
Yeah,
sleeveless shirts. So
layers are key.
yeah, but we're going to be talking about some of the special events that you'll find on both coasts during this springtime. And we're going to start off with a little bit of talk about the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Right?
I mean, it's not my favorite festival. I'm a food and wine girl, but this is just the prettiest Disney festival at all, anywhere.
Oh, totally agree. Over the years, it has grown. I still can't believe just how many topiaries they have all over, all around Epcot now. It's over almost 100 now, from what I remember. It's like our report
Wow.
said
I didn't know it was that
99,
many.
like 90 topiary. I mean, it's just an amazing number of topiaries that they've established, and yeah, this year they've added a Scentsy themed garden because Disney has this new partnership with the home fragrance company Scentsy, and they have a
Okay.
garden on that walkway between Spaceship Earth and the monorail and the World Showcase, and
Mhm.
they have like 6 different themed floral gardens there, Heather.
See, I love how they do this, and I maybe a lot know that like you're kind of just you notice the topiaries. They're big and they're so fun, but there's always like 6 or 7 different themes little gardens that you almost in the little booklet you kind of have to seek them out. Like last year I know that they had, I don't know if they're doing it this year, but they had a honeybee garden, so it was all plants that would attract bees, and it taught you about how bees pollinate things, and it's just you learn so much going through these different gardens.
One of the things that I tend to forget is that we may have some newbies watching, Heather. So maybe just give a little idea of what are Epcot festivals. This is Flower and Garden. Maybe just kind of talk a little bit about what Epcot offers seasonally.
So I feel like Epcot has a festival every day of the year. There's never not a festival anymore at Epcot, but they change out seasonally. And the Flower and Garden one is in the spring. It goes from early March through mid to late May, depends on the year. And it celebrates all things gardening, whether it's flowers, growing your own food, fresh food, food that you can grow from yourself. So they have different food booths that will feature, fruits and veggies and things like that. In the fall, they'll do a food and wine festival, which is kind of um, international food and a celebration of food and wine, and again food booths everywhere. In the before times there were cooking demonstrations and wine tastings, and then in the winter they'll have 2 festivals. They'll do a holiday festival celebrating different holidays around the world, and then after the holidays they'll do Festival of the Arts, which is the newest of the festivals, but I think the most fun, where they just celebrate all things creative, whether that's dance, music, art. You get to see artists painting. You kind of get to help them paint. You get to see Broadway shows. They're a lot of fun, and they add an extra element of entertainment to Epcot.
I think I'm a little outside the norm in that Flower and Garden has been traditionally my favorite. I know food and wine because there's all the different booths to go try out delicious dishes tends to be more popular, but I love to take pictures, and all the different topiaries, and then the way that they change throughout the festival because it is so very long. Some of the plants, really begin to bloom at different points in the festival. So as a photographer, Flower and Garden was always like the one that I got super excited when it showed up. And among the other reasons that I love it is I love bougainvillea.
Oh,
And
we have so much in our backyard. It's so pretty.
oh, it's my favorite. Someday when I have my own home, I will have bougainvillea. It will be a bougainvillea paradise. But the Mexico Pavilion, they add so much more bougainvillea to the decor of this beautiful location there as you enter World Showcase. So what's Doobie asking me? Oh, here you go. Since the festival lasts so long, do you think it's better to come early or late? Is there economic is one or the other more economical? I'll just read what he said.
Ugh, it's so hard to say, right? Because it starts in early March, but that also kind of hits when colleges are going on their spring break. So if you can do it in the first week, you might get some good hotel rates. But I would say probably late April early May is going to be more economical than the
Okay.
beginning of the festival, just because you have all those spring breaks. It's college and then right into the Easter time holidays where kids have off of school. So for hotel room stays, definitely towards the end of the festival.
Okay, and this festival actually has been extended even longer this year, Heather. It's going till July. It's
Of
all the way
course,
into
because then
summer
Food and
now. Can you
Wine
believe it?
Festival will start at the end of, like I said, there is always a festival at
Right?
Epcot.
Yeah. It's amazing the way it's changed. And as a little advice from a mom who's been to the Flower and Garden Festival, they have some delightful playgrounds that aren't usually found at Epcot, and they
Yeah.
bring those in during the festivals. And that was one of the reasons why, for my son, festival season at Epcot was like his favorite time of year. Because even though the rides are fun, you still have to kind of stand in line and then get on the ride. Whereas the playground is like really free to just totally burn off your
Yeah.
energy.
They just let off so much steam running through that. Like you can see the joy in the children's faces as they're running and climbing. It's a lot of fun.
So yeah, so the playgrounds were really popular with my son, and then they've added in recent years little scavenger hunts. So if you want to take a bit more time and look at the flowers, it's a way for your child to be a bit more entertained. Do you want to talk about? I'll see if I can find a little pics while you talk about the scavenger hunt. I saw your face light up.
I am a grown adult with no children, and I love these scavenger hunts. So, have one featuring Spike the Bee at the Flower and Garden Festival, and then one featuring Remy from Ratatouille in the fall for Food and Wine. And basically, you can buy a map. You don't have to, but there's a little prize in it for you if you purchase a map. And they're about $7, give or take. And then you go around and for food and or for Flower and Garden Festival, they'll have, there he is. And this one, by the way, is really hard. I'm okay doing the one in Food and Wine, but this one was hard for me. But they have Spike hidden all around the World Showcase in different little gardens. And then you put a sticker on your map as you find him, and then you return to the store where you bought the map and show your completed entry, and they'll give you a little prize.
So lots of fun. You can you look around for little Spike the Bee, and he's a character from classic animation. Those he gave Donald Duck quite a bit of trouble. So if you're planning a trip, maybe look on Disney Plus for some of those Spike the Bee cartoons. So that way, as you're wandering around the park, your kids will be more interested in
They'll know who
looking
he
for.
is. Yeah.
They'll be a bit more familiar with Spike the Bee. I'm sure some families it's the other way around, right? They see the little guy in the parks and they're like, hey, and then they head home and find him. Another element of springtime at Disney is always desserts, and this is a Easter themed cupcake that I enjoyed last year. It's getting amazing the amount of specialized desserts that you can find all around the parks, Heather.
You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I will say I love the food booths at Flower and Garden. They're getting a lot better than when they first, because when Flower and Garden Festival started, there were no food booths, but they're so popular at the other festivals that a few years back they brought them in. And the food quality is getting so much better, and it's featuring fresh produce. So every dish is going to feature something. So maybe in Mexico, they might have something with plantains or avocado. So it features something that would normally be grown in those countries. And they're just so delicious. They're really good.
So my husband is throwing up softball questions to guide the conversation. He knows that
We're talking too much about Spike the Bee.
he knows some of the topics that I have in mind, and one of them is the Garden Rocks series. Now, if you've been a longtime fan, you may remember that way back when they called this the Flower Power series. But over time, kind of the bands that are beginning to play, they're moving into Berlin, and so it's become the Garden Rocks series. But is there a way, if you're at Disney and you find out that Berlin is playing at Garden Rocks, that you can guarantee that you can see
I'm watching the comments come in. Yes, there is. For me, it happens to be Starship. I've seen Starship more times than I can count at Epcot for Food and Wine Festival. But yes, they have dining packages available, and they do this also in the fall and in winter. Where you at certain restaurants you can go ahead and book yourself a reservation. You book one of these packages, you pay a little bit extra, and then you get front of the line reserved seating access, so you don't have to sit and wait for an hour or two in line to get the best seats in the house.
Yes, and so these are dining packages. You can find them on the website, or you can ask a travel planner for more information about that. Hey, since I brought up travel planners, what are some of the reasons that even a seasoned Disney fan might use a travel planner? What are some of the I'll be honest, I'll just put it out there. Just let people know what a travel planner does.
Well, a travel plan can do as much or as little as you want, right? I know that there's a lot of big Disney fans. They've been planning their trips. Planning their trips is the fun part of the vacation. I want to do my dining reservations and my park passes. And so we can do that for you, or you can do it yourself, whatever is going to make you happy. But really, we're kind of your own little travel concierge. You have us in your back pocket. So if there's something you don't know the answer to, we're here to help. If you need help making your dining reservations, if something, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if something goes wrong on your vacation, we're here to change the dates, get you booked into a different hotel, whatever it is. But I think one of the big ones that people might not know is that, how Disney comes out with these discounts. We get that applied for you. So even if you've booked your trip a year ago, if a discount comes out that works with your reservation, I'm going to get that applied for you, and you don't have to worry about it. So you're always getting the best price. You're taking advantage of the deals, and you didn't have to spend 4 hours on the phone with Walt Disney World to try to make it happen. So we're here to make your trip as seamless as possible.
Okay. And am I correct that if there's certain restaurants, I know some restaurant reservations are more challenging to get than others. I hear these stories of the people, on the phones early in the morning to try and snatch them up. So is that one of the things that a travel planner can, kind of assist me with and maybe help take off my plate a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if you love making your dining reservations, you go do it. I'm not going to step in. But if you really need the help, I can be there, 6 a.m. on the phone, giving Disney a call to try to get these reservations for you. So it's just, you kind of have a little backup, in your corner.
Bob Newell does a lot of Caribbean cruises. He does Vegas. He does Walt Disney World. These are all areas a travel planner can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. We do a little bit of everything over at MEI Travel. So it doesn't have to be Disney. It can be anywhere in the world. We have somebody that can help you with that.
Oh, and just in case you weren't aware, I got very excited hearing we do a walk and talk here on Laughing Place, and our team was there for one of the first days of the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, and I noticed this little adorable guy on the Nose of Sneezy as Squeaks. Fox and the Hound is one of my favorites from when I was little, and
Okay.
I was like, wait, I recognize that caterpillar. And so it was like this little moment, and it's kind of become a thing here on Laughing Place ever since, because I got all excited about that.
I love it. And I love when Disney, the Imagineers, throw in those little details. Like, nobody's really going to know it. Like, especially younger families, they're not going to know who that is, but there's a handful that will, and they're going to throw you that little Easter egg, and I love it.
So continuing to talk about Flower and Garden Festival, they also have a butterfly garden, so that you can learn a little bit more about the cycle of the butterfly. And there's so beautiful butterflies, just fluttering around in there. I'm trying to think, just want to make sure we give people a full picture of just the variety of because Flower and Garden, it goes just beyond, as Heather pointed out. You've got the food element too. Not tasty dishes inspired by fresh produce, but then you've got the butterfly garden, and then the gardens themselves beyond the topiaries are themed in various ways. The one near England is themed to Shakespearean quotes and various plants that are found in Shakespeare. You've got a tea garden. It's just interesting ways of gathering plants together. They find all these different ways.
I like in Future World they'll have like your outdoor living garden, and they kind of just like set up like what would be a backyard, and here's a great way to use your furniture this way, or maybe you can do this, or here's how to be more sustainable in your garden. And it's you're learning so much but not realizing you're learning. It's that edutainment that Disney always like, they just do it really well at the festivals. It's a lot of fun.
100%. And if you're in Epcot and you're looking for something to eat, I'm going to ask Heather, what are some of your go-to dining locations that, I mean, there's so many, but like go.
I mean, do we have 2 hours? Because Disney food is my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, so if we're talking just restaurants, we're not talking about festival booths. I think probably my top 3 at the moment, because it changes. I'm really loving Spice Road Table in Morocco. And I think a lot of people get nervous about the Morocco pavilion. Maybe it's a little too spicy. It's not something that I'm used to, but all 3 restaurants in that pavilion are excellent. But I really love Spice Road Table because they have small plates that you can share. You're right on World Showcase Lagoon. And they have a great wine list. And bonus, they don't take reservations. It's walk up only. So you don't need to make an ADR. You forgot that day, you couldn't get in anywhere. You just go to Spice Road Table, and the food is phenomenal. I love Via Napoli, and I love Chefs de France as well.
Okay, now Via Napoli, that's over in Italy. So we're looking at wood-fired pizzas, right? And no, am I right? Okay.
Yes. This is me just like, oh gosh, why am I not in Epcot right now? So they, Via Napoli. Oh, Doobie says he's never been to Spice Road Table.
No,
so
I know.
Fix that.
No, I know it's on our list. We haven't made it there because it's one of those that opened after we moved to the other coast, and we only get there seasonally. Yeah.
Okay, so that has to be on your list. I ate there 3 times on my last trip. Like, I just brought different friends with me. Like, come on, we're gonna go here now. But
okay,
going back to
wait, before you move on, what dishes? Like, what kind of food am I eating? What's an example of what I'm eating at Spice Road?
Okay, so I tend to eat veggie. You're not going to find me eating much meat, but I will say that some of the guests I came with had the shrimp that they like ordered 3 more servings of because they said the shrimp was so good. But they have the hummus fries, which you'll know that they also have at the Food and Wine Festival booth. So that is on their list or on their menu all year. But they call it hummus fries. It's basically falafels shaped as rectangles. They have a mezza plate with different dips, hummus, olive tapenade, all of that. What else did we have? Wow. There was chicken wings, like little chicken wings, but like with a kind of Mediterranean spice on them that my mom actually had. And she was really nervous about the spice. And she said, this was so delicious. I would eat this all the time. I've never had anything bad at this restaurant. Let's just put it that way.
Currently, I'm looking at the app right here for Spice Road Table, and you can see it shows you have a 10-minute estimated wait right now, and they even have like join the walk-up list. So if you're at Epcot, you have your app, you can sign up and then not have much of a wait by the time you get over there. That's one of the nice features now with some of the adjustments that have happened with the app is you have a little bit more information regarding kind of the quick service elements as well. By the way, Heather, my husband is team veggie, so he was very.
Me too. I'm usually vegan, but for Via Napoli, I will eat cheese and have some pizza.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I love Via Napoli. The wood-fired pizza, as Doobie reminds me, they also had like a special water. So that it has you can tell with the crust that there's something different about what's going on with the Via Napoli pizza.
So they actually, I'm a nerd and I found this out. So what makes because Via Napoli, for those of you that don't know, Naples, Italy is the birthplace of pizza. So Via Napoli was meant to be an homage to Naples and make all of those famous and be really good pizza. So when they were doing their pizza, they knew that had to be good, right? They couldn't just make regular Florida theme park pizza. So they used the same tomatoes and the same flour that makers in Naples use. And then they found a water source in Pennsylvania that has the same pH balance as Naples, Italy. And they fly that in, and that's what they use to make their pizza. And if you think that pizza is just pizza, you have not eaten Via Napoli yet.
So there you go. And as Doofy says, it's an ultimate endorsement. I'm vegan, except at Via Napoli. So.
Exactly, because you can't not have the pizza.
so there you go. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about Epcot's food outside of the festival before venturing over to this coast. Over on our coast, we're both on the West Coast right now, California Adventure, Disney California Adventure, the sister park to Disneyland, is currently hosting the Food and Wine Festival. What can you share with us about that, Heather?
Yeah, I think it's so unique that California does it in the spring, whereas Florida does it in the fall. And the reason for that is California wants to get all the vintners and the makers down here, but in the fall is their harvest season, and that's when they start making their wine. So they're usually unavailable. So you do it here in the spring, and much, much smaller than the one in Epcot. You know, there's maybe only 10 booths, give or take. I find it's a little bit pricier. The food portion, like the food at the booths are a little bit pricier. Like you're probably going to see starting prices around $8 versus $3 or $4, but the portions are a lot bigger. Like you're going to see dishes that are, you know, this big. And I find the food quality to be a lot better than the one in Epcot. I said it. But it's the same premise. It's dedicated to food, but in California, being an international food and wine festival, it really celebrates Californian food. So you're going to find, you know, maybe a booth dedicated to Korean barbecue, and then a booth dedicated to Mexican food and avocados and just things that are really prevalent here on the West Coast.
I know this year one of the items that's really capturing conversation is at the Nuts About Cheese, and that is the peanut butter and jelly mac with a brown sugar topping and a strawberry crackle, which, as our reporter Jeremiah discovered, is Pop Rocks.
I love Pop Rocks. I don't know about this dish. Like I keep reading about it, and I really need somebody to go eat it for me. And I think that like I'm hung up on the like thinking of it as mac and cheese, but it's really not mac and cheese. It's just macaroni with like a peanut butter sauce and some jelly. I don't know why we need that, but
yeah, no, the pasta part is what has that peanut butter flavor. Yeah, and then the toppings are what bring in that sweetness and fruity jelly. And we actually have a tweet here because Jeremiah tasted it for us on live on camera, and yeah, it was a shock to his senses. He was. I don't think he was a fan.
I don't think I would be either, and I don't know, but I like to eat gross things when I go places, so I feel like you kind of have to try it. I don't know, but for the most part, the food is really good at the California one. Okay, so here's a pro tip. I'm going to give everybody my secret, and now when I go, I'm not going to be able to do this because I will have ruined it for myself. But what California does differently than Florida is you don't have to go to every booth to order what you want. So if you get there, like, you know, when the park opens, you can go to your first booth, order everything you want from every single booth, pay for it all at once. And then throughout the day, as you get hungry, you just walk up to the booth, hand over your receipt, and then they give you your food. So that saves you a lot of time waiting in line, because if you've ever been to any food and wine festival, you know that later in the afternoon, those lines start to build up. And especially for the popular booths, you could wait a half an hour or more. So this will save you a lot of time.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you can order all your items at one booth, and they provide a nice little passport with all the different food items described on it, as I recall. Heather, am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then they have, and so you can go pick it up. Now, is that something that I could do in partnership with this Sip and Savor Pass, or if I'm doing the Sip and Savor Pass, would I not be able to take advantage of this tip you're sharing?
Well, you can do both, because you can use your Sip and Savor Pass for, one item, and then you can go and pay for something else at that same. So let's say we're going to Sonoma Terrace and I want to get this wine, but I know later I'm going to want this wine. You can use your tab for one of them and then also order your wine and 5 things from other booths and just walk up and use both, if that makes sense.
And just, no, it does, because the Sip and Savor Pass is it's like a prepay system to enjoy the items at the Food and Wine Festival, but it doesn't apply to everything.
Yeah, there's only certain items or certain booths, and it's like a gift card but with restrictions, for lack of a better. Yeah, there's a great picture of it.
Yeah. And this is a single price, and then you have these tabs that you then go around and redeem for the various the items that are available within the Sip and Savor Pass umbrella, and they're listed on the back of this pass. But I like your idea, because sometimes I'm willing to pay a little bit more to not have to wait. It's like exactly. I might not take advantage of kind of a bulk pricing if I know I'm gonna have to wait.
That I can just get everything all at once.
Yeah. No, so that's a great tip. To pick it up, to purchase it at the one booth at one time, and then go around
and then just go back later, because you order a lot or you want a lot, and then you're so full you can't eat it all anyway. But at least you paid for it, so tonight for dinner you can just go back and get your macaroni and cheese.
And the way that the booths are, they're along the major corridor there of California Adventure, from that main entrance towards the back portion of the park is where you'll find all those booths laid out for you. It's a nice wide corridor. That's one of the differences for me as a Disneyland versus Disney World is usually I think of Disneyland as being kind of tight and quaint. And DCA has a bit more of that spacing, and which has made it a really terrific venue for events like the Food and Wine Festival. And that event has started March 4th, and it goes through April 26th. Disney fan, email editor@laughingplace.com. That's the email address you're looking for. Doobie's asking, the Disneyland Resort only has 3 hotels, but can a travel professional help me book a non-Disney hotel?
We sure can. Absolutely. So for all the Disney World people watching that haven't maybe made it out to Disneyland yet, there are good neighbor hotels that are within walking distance of the parks, which is unfathomable for Florida, right? It's so big that not many things are within walking distance, but in California, everything's more compact. So there are the 3 resort hotels that are really close, which even the Grand Californian has a private entrance into California Adventure. But there are dozens and dozens of good neighbors that are only about a 10 to 15 minute walk. So we can help you book those. The caveat is we can't do a room only. We would do a room and ticket package for you. But yeah, it's a great option, especially when the Disney resorts are booked, because like you said, Doobie, there's only 3 and they do sell out. So it's a good option.
And speaking of selling out, when we talked prior to the show, you mentioned that you're seeing a lot of interest in Walt Disney World housing, right? Or Walt Disney World resorts right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much pent up travel demand, right? Everybody's tired of being at home and we're ready to get back out in the world. So I've been noticing just in my everyday job, Disney resorts, specifically in Florida, are selling out months in advance. And I mean, not just 1 or 2, all of them. So the key with Disney right now, if you want to go to Walt Disney World in Florida, plan early, book early. We can always apply discounts if they come out. We can always try to change your dates later if we need to. But I would say through May right now, you're not seeing any availability, a handful here or there. So that's really key. If you want to go this year, I've been booking nonstop this week for November and December already.
Wow.
So the earlier you can book, the better.
And like Heather mentioned earlier, having a travel planner, she'll be aware of if any discounts pop up that apply to the dates that you wanted to travel. She can go ahead and apply those. So if you're thinking about travel, you can go ahead and you can book it. You don't have to wait in, thinking, well, I think a discount will pop up. You can, go ahead and talk to your travel planner about it and begin to lay that groundwork, get that
feel
going
like
for you.
I'm of the mind that it's better to have it and need to change or cancel in the future than not want it and not have it. So by booking now, you get your preferred resort and room category locked in. And then if a discount does come out and it works with your travel dates and your hotel, we can get that applied for you. So at least you're taken care of there.
And has there been any rumble, any kind of inkling that we might see? Because I know this was a really popular category of Disney travel. Many people would book wait and book their travel around these free dining. Right?
Oh gosh, everybody loves free dining. It's the word free, and what's funny is that free dining didn't usually wind up being the best offer. There was always like another offer in conjunction with it that usually priced better, but people just loved that word free. And no, I haven't heard any news of it coming back because right now there's no dining plans and we don't even know when those are coming back. So if I'm honest, Disney does not need to discount right now. Like I said, their hotels are selling out. So they're a business and they need to make money and they're not going to discount something if their resorts are full. So
no. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, if there's so many people at the door, then right now your discounts tend to be when you're trying to make sure people come in the door. You want to,
exactly
fill those empty spots at a little bit of a discount rather than letting them go empty. And right now they don't even seem to have
to. Yeah. But I'm right there with you. We're hoping for free dining to come back. I'm just hoping for dining plans to come back at this point, and then we'll ease into free dining.
Back at Disney California Food and Wine Festival, they added a new element for kids this year.
Yeah, so beyond just the food booths, there's a lot of activities at the Food and Wine Festival on both coasts, but specifically in California, they do wine tastings, they'll do mixology classes for the adults. They even have a vintner's reception, which is kind of like their big signature event. And these all cost extra money. You would have to make a reservation and pay for them in advance. But this year, they started a special event just for the little ones. I'm fairly certain it is complimentary, but it's first come, first served. So the first 32 children who sign up, for the day get to participate. And it's called the Wonderland Baking show. I know it's not show, but
it's the unbirthday party. The Wonderland Bakery unbirthday party.
They have this really cute little show on Disney Junior with Alice in Wonderland. And so they're doing a little kids themed baking show with it. And you for the festival this year, you get like a little cupcake kit, and they come out and they teach you how to make your cupcakes, and then Minnie Mouse comes out at the end and waves to the crowd. And I think it's such a cute way to get little kids involved and interested in cooking.
And we've got a video of it on the YouTube channel here if you want to take a peek. But it's an adorable way to showcase this new program from Disney Junior. The granddaughter, I can't remember if it's great granddaughter or granddaughter of Alice, has developed this bakery, and the show itself is really sweet, Heather.
It's really cute.
She had a problem the other day where she was following a recipe and she didn't realize that the pineapple cake was actually pineapple upside down, and so the cake was upside down. It was really sweet. So it's a lot of fun, but a nice way to introduce kids to baking and decorating.
And they get excited about it, and they get a cupcake at the end. And what kid doesn't want sugar, So it's just a fun little. They're always doing these fun extra things at the festivals, and you can choose to participate or not. But it just gives you so much more information and entertainment to that theme. So whether it's Flower and Garden or Food and Wine or Festival of the Holidays, there's always more than just food at these festivals.
Are there any particular promotions or specials that we should be making sure to alert people to right now, Heather?
Yes. And in fact, I pulled them up because I knew you were going to ask me. So I wanted to make sure I had the date, but there are special promotions on both coasts. So in Florida right now, they have a promotion where you can save up to $500 for a 5-night stay. So you do 5 nights, and depending on what resort you're at will dictate the amount of money you would get off of your package. It was from March 6th through July 7th. So you have a couple more months to take advantage of it, but it's just a nice little, it's not a huge discount, but it's a nice something to help with the cost of your trip. And then out in California, this actually just came out earlier this week. They're doing save up to 25% off select hotels. So this is only for Disney resorts. This is not for the Good Neighbor resorts. But if you book now through June 6th, and then travel must be completed by June 10th, you can save up to 25% off. So that helps with the cost of the Disney hotels because they tend to be pretty pricey in California.
And speaking of California, they've got some new offerings that are very different when it comes to a Disney vacation. So I'm going to let you introduce those, and I'll share a few pictures that Disney's provided of what these are.
Well, I was telling you before that started that I think that I'm just a nerd because I'm the only person that would be excited about working on vacation. But for Disney-owned resort guests, so the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels, they just about a month ago introduced these new fitness programs for guests staying there. And they are a small extra charge. It's not too much, but it is an extra charge. But you get to do things like the one you're showing here is boot camp in the park. They'll do that, which is really because you get to go to the Redwood Challenge Trail and kind of do a boot camp on this little kid obstacle course. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be excited about doing a boot camp anywhere else, but because you get to go into the park before it's open and play in this fun area, like it just sounds intriguing to me. But they also do yoga before the park opens, power walking in the park before it opens. And I think the one that I was most excited about was over at the Grand Californian. They are doing stand-up paddleboarding in the pool. Oh yeah, see, there's the yoga, and that's on top of California Adventure at the Grand Californian. And then they, like I said, they're doing paddleboard yoga. Like, yes, I want to do that so bad.
This is the one that caught my eye too. I'm like, oh, that is neat.
But then I feel like they're also doing it in the morning, so I don't want to book myself a hotel stay until July when I know it's going to be warm because I will wind up in that water. I can't pretend that I'm going to be there. Look, they're very confident in their t-shirts and shorts. I'm going to be in a bathing suit because I know I'm ending up in that water, but it looks so much fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I know my husband would immediately sign up for the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail Boot Camp. That is
I'm
totally
coming with you, Doobie. We'll do it together. It sounds like it's so much fun.
I agree, and then there's something about it being within Disney that makes it just a little less intimidating. I mean, it's not that I don't think it's going to be just as truly physically challenging, but there's just something about that environment that invites you to do something that you don't normally do, you know?
I feel like leave it to Disney to make exercising fun, right? Like nobody else is going to get me to do a boot camp, but please take my money. I want to come and wake up at 6 a.m. and go running through the park, please.
Right? It's amazing. They got me to do a 10K. So
I haven't done that. I haven't given in to Run Disney yet. That I haven't done that yet. But the boot camp I'm there for.
I've done 2. The first one that Disney got me to do was when it was at night, and it was for Tower of Terror, and
I remember one.
And so I did that inaugural event, and then the second, my ultimate goal someday is to be able to do one that's within the where I can get a image by the Magic Kingdom. I'm not at a point where I can do that, but
one day.
I really would love to get that, fitness with the castle. So I'm hopeful that maybe if these programs prove interesting, if people like them on the West Coast, I'm hopeful that maybe we'll see some of this migrate over to the East as well, because the idea of sunrise yoga at the castle, I've seen some of those as add-ons now for Run Disney.
Yes. And I'm always so jealous. Like, I want to
Right.
do that. Because I've done the yogas that they have, at the boardwalk, because they have it at some of the Disney resorts. I've done it at Aulani, but there's something about being in front of the castle, right? I would get up early for that.
As you're talking, I keep thinking, hopefully, this is a new program here at Laughing Place Travel Planning. And as you're talking, I'm just more and more ideas of topics that we need to discuss and
You have
share.
to write them down so you don't forget.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what Heather is going to help bring to the viewers here at Laughing Place as we dive a little deeper into vacation planning. This has been so much fun.
I had so much fun. I love to just sit and talk Disney. This was so much fun for me.
No, I really appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit about some of the springtime fun that's happening on the coasts. And we will be back very soon. I'm gonna have to chat with Heather. We're gonna have to figure out when we're gonna be doing when we'll be doing this again, and we'll be posting that here on Laughing Place. So be sure, if you enjoyed this, hit like. If you want to know more about what's happening here at Laughing Place, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Heather, why don't you tell us a little bit about how to reach Mouse Fan Travel and MEI so that we can make sure people are able to get in touch with you for vacation planning needs?
Sure, absolutely. So we have a website. It's mousefantravel.com. We also have MEI-travel.com, and that's for if you want to do a non-Disney vacation, maybe a Caribbean or a cruise. But you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. So if you don't quite want to go the email route, you can message us on both Facebook and Instagram. And we have people that monitor those all the time so they can get right back to you and get you to a travel planner so we can get helping with your trip.
And I'll have links below so that you can definitely reach out to Heather and the team there at Mouse Fan Travel for more information. Thank you again so much. As my husband says, we're one episode in. So as far as he's concerned, we have to do a Disney Cruise Line topic because
Disney wish, it's almost time.
I want to learn more about Aulani because we have a significant anniversary coming up soon, and there's much pressure on my husband for us to finally get to Aulani because that's one of the places
I didn't know you hadn't been, so now I'm going to be emailing you. Be like, what's going on?
in fact, I turned 50 this year, and we have this 25th wedding anniversary coming up, and so I'm like, okay, one of those. You have to find a way to get me to Aulani because of one of those reasons. I'm really eager to see Hawaii through the Disney vision. It's
we have to do a whole show on Aulani because I love it there. We could talk forever about it.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. If you have any questions, go ahead and email Rebekah at Laughing Place, and we can try and bring those to future programs. You can drop us a note on our Twitter or our Instagram at Laughing Place. Hi, Becky. We're wrapping up here. Thanks for popping in real quick. We appreciate it. Like I say, we'll be back again talking more about Disney vacation fun and doing our best to share with you the joy that we find when we hit the park. So take care, and we'll see you all soon.